Hello and welcome back to Wednesday's vlog. Obviously this one today will be a little bit shorter, but I'm going to try showing you a little bit of basic work which I'm doing on one of the cars, but it'll only be quick and brief. So what we've got in today is this Astra. The exhaust, the back box fell off going through the Tyne Tunnel. If any of you are from up north, you'll know what the Tyne Tunnel is. And having something this size falling out the back of your car through the tunnel with sparks coming off it, I would imagine would be quite alarming for the last driving it. So we've got that to do. Just one thing I want to show you on these. This is the original Vauxhall centre box exhaust. Obviously the front piece has been changed. Now to try and save the lass some money rather than, because if we start changing this, as you can see the flexi, we've just checked it, it looks worse than it is. We've just blocked the end of the exhaust with it running and there's no gas leaks, so may as well leave well alone to save us some money. But to save her the centre box, what Vauxhall do from the factory, as you can see it's getting heated up, is the clamp is welded onto it, so they don't just come off. And what you end up doing, if you don't have the heat, is you'll end up damaging the centre piece and you'll need to change the whole lot. So we're just doing this just to try and save us some money. There's the new exhaust. These aren't cheap. I'm sure these are probably touching 100 quid. But it's the pressed one, so that's that. I'll show you over there while he sorts that. This was actually, I don't know if there's anything lying about. This was actually in, I'll switch this camera on. That was actually in for today, which we did yesterday. But I think everything's been chucked for what I had for it. Basically, it was all genuine Ford parts because obviously it's a 19 plate. Oil and filter, air filter, and pollen filter. And I'll just show you, because I write paint on these ones. The pollen filter, you've got to take all this panel off and it's right up into there. It's not the worst, but it's just really something that should be changed every year. Shouldn't be so difficult. We'll have a little walk around this one. I'll tell you what, I want to show you something on this car. Please tell me this is one of my favourite little gadgets I've ever come across on a car. Now, can you see the door here? When I open the door, watch here. Can you see that? How cool is that? And then it disappears. See that? So now, that there protects the edge of your door. So when you're getting out your car in a car park, a garage, up against a wall, and if you look, when you close the door, see it just disappearing, and then coming back. I've just got to admit that is one of the most neatest ideas I've seen on any car for a while. But this thing is specced out to the max. This thing, it's a Fiesta ST line. It's got all the blind spot monitoring. These lights, these LEDs on the front are like on another level. It's actually like I was informed this car had some like serious options spec'd when it was new. And I'll just switch it on and you'll see what I'm meaning with it. It's got all sorts on these front lights. Obviously they're full LED sections. You got your running light, your indicator, and them other two sections of the LED or your main beam. Nice to see. Nice little spec there. So yeah, this was just in for a service. The only thing that lets this car down really for me, and this is just a personal thing, is the fact it's a 1 litre EcoBoost. So, you know, this car's only got 14,000 mile on, so absolutely no issues there. But naturally, we all know what the 1 litre EcoBoosts are like. Not the best, but it's in, like I said, it's practically a new car. It's just had its actually it's in for MOT as well. But the spec on this thing's unreal. It's got like heated seats, heated steering wheel, obviously the Ford heated windscreen, all of the radar, cruise control, lane monitoring. It's got all sorts on, all sorts of stuff. All the black headlining. It's called I think it's called the ST line Plus or something. If you actually have a look on my other videos, I've done a full review of this car. So if you are genuinely interested in this little thing, just scroll back through my videos about maybe 6 months or so. There's a full walk around review of this car. So if you want to have a look at that, feel free. But like I've said, that's the only letdown for me. Even if it was the 1500 diesel one, I would like it. It's a Citroen Peugeot engine, but they're actually not bad. Or obviously the 1.6 EcoBoost engine is cracking. One of the best engines made in my opinion. But That's just obviously the way the car was spec'd from new. There's your air filter, nice and simple. Oil filters down the back of the engine. Didn't need the platinum plugs this time round, but it will next year. So there we go. That is the Fiesta. This is the other job we've got in. Obviously, it's just a guy from down the road, actually. Likes his stickers, obviously. So, I mean, it's had a bit of a hard life, this thing, as you can see. Panels missing and everything. But it's got a misfire, which is quite common on these. But he informs us that the RAC changed this a couple of years ago. And these are undercover. So, I don't know, somebody's roving all this plug to bits and knacked it. So it hasn't got the securing thing on to keep it in. But it has actually, if you have a look behind that, it is in fine. I just hope it connects to the new one okay. But I'm just going to try to see if I can find any branding on this, because it's probably just a chippy that's gone, and he doesn't recall the spark plugs ever being changed. So I'm going to first of all try taking the plugs out, and if they're absolutely ruined, I'll put this old coil back in and see how it runs. If not, I've got a new coil sat here. As you can see, Delphi original equipment coil and NGK plugs. So what I've done, I've had the scanner on it. I was going to show that, but the time it takes to scan it, you're just sitting looking at a screen, it's pointless. It's coming up as a cylinder, misfire detected, cylinder 2. But don't always use that as a definite answer, because it could also be an injector. It could be a valve burnt out. It could be something wrong with one of the cylinders. So 9 times out of 10 it will be spark plug or coil pack related, especially on these Vauxhalls. But you shouldn't go what you call firing the parts cannon. Hence I'm going to do the spark plugs first and go from there. So there was obviously there was an engine management light on. Like I've mentioned, I've cleared that off. And he's had some kind of box plugged into it. Now these eco box things, I'm not really that keen on them, because with them being an eco box, what they kind of do is get the cars to run quite lean. And when you're running lean, you naturally will overheat the engine, burn plugs out. So I don't know, I might just tell them just to leave that not connected. But I can imagine this thing will be quite interesting trying to work the light controls when you're driving though. Do you agree? So yeah, what we'll do is I'll just fire it up there now, and you'll get the idea if it decides to. You can hear it there chugging away. I don't know how this comes out on audio on the filament, but can you hear that? You can hear that straight away that it's not running right. And normally, if you go to the exhaust, you can normally hear, but in this case you can't. But when they're misfiring quite badly, sometimes you just need to go to the exhaust and you can actually hear them. So what we're going to do is, I'm just going to pause it. We'll remove the spark plugs, get the coil pack off, and we'll just assess what the plugs look like. And if the plugs are absolutely ruined, we'll put the new ones in, the old coil in, and we'll see if we're getting rid of the misfire. Right, so there's a development. Took the coil pack out. I've drained that one with the suction device. As you can see, they're filled with oil. That one is completely, cylinder 1 is completely submerged in oil. So the coil pack's been sat completely in oil, which I'm going to clean off. What happens with these, with the plastic rocker covers, is they come loose. So I've been around and re-torqued them all up. If you start taking these off, you actually end up with quite a few problems, because a lot of the studs can snap. There's a few times I've done these where, to be honest, this guy only wants his car to last. He said in about another 6 months, and he's got a new one coming. So to be honest, he just wants it running. So I've tightened them up. I'm going to recheck the oil afterwards. But what I am going to do is just change the plugs, because when I take these out, I've got a feeling they're going to be in quite a state. So I'm going to drain them off, that one off a bit more, drain these 3 off, put the new plugs in, put the coil back in, and we'll start it up and we'll see how it goes. But that's all I use there, just a straightforward suction device to get the oil out of the spark plug holes. So there we go, that's the new plugs in, oil drained out. I've left one out just to show you. They were absolutely knackered, these plugs. I don't know if that'll zoom in, but there's nothing left of that electrode. Really burnt out, so definitely they're getting changed. When you compare that to a new one, how it should be to how they are. So I'll stick these in, Like I've said, I don't think there's going to be anything wrong with the coil. I've cleaned all the oil off it and it does look relatively new, and that's the expensive piece. So yeah, we'll get the other spark plug in, get it put back together, and we'll start it up and see if it runs any better. Right, that's it back together. I know this car doesn't particularly looked after, but I've given it a quick clean up. I mean, you know, I'm not making really much on this job, to be honest. I'd be lucky if I'm making 30 quid. But, you know, it's just nice to see when someone lifts the bonnet that it's had a quick once over. So now we'll fire it up and we'll see if we've lost that misfire and the engine light. So we'll fire it up. Straight away that sounds a lot better. Yep. It's instant. There might be a little bit of smoke from some oil that's gone down into the cylinders. But that's nice and instant. No engine light on. And it used to stutter, which it doesn't do now. So there we go. Running like a dream. So there we go. So the guy will be over the moon. It's only cost him a bit of labour. Set of spark plugs. And that's it. Obviously you'll have to get the rocker gasket done if it continues, but it'll drive a lot better with them spark plugs. Can't actually believe this thing's done 180,000 mile. God knows if that's the original engine. If it is, it's done a good job. The only other thing I'm going to quickly do on this, as you can tell, the tyres look really flat. So I'm going to do the pressure on the tyres, because I'm just going to sit in this car actually out the wind. We'll finish this video off in here. I'll quickly show you what that's done. There's a new exhaust on that. So that's ready to go. And the clamp, that's the state of these clamps, what you've got to get off. It's a lot of work to go, but it saved the last centre section of the exhaust. But these are the special Vauxhall clamps that you've got to more or less burn them off. So if you're going to attempt this at home on your drive, just order a centre section, because you won't manage. They're just a total pain, basically, but it saves you having to replace the centre section. So I'm going to jump into here, where it's warm. There's all sorts of gadgetry in this car, I've just noticed. I don't know what. A dog leader on a seatbelt? Okay, right. God knows. Like I've said, when you shut the door here, light controls, a drift handle on the wheel. I'll just want to shut this window first and we'll finish the video off. So there we go. That's not too bad. We've got some jobs coming in this afternoon, but I want to get these videos out to you a little bit earlier. So that's this job completed. Astra done. The Fiesta was done last night. We would be on with that now if I hadn't work late. That's to be MOT'd. Oh, there must only be one MOT today, yes. So there's the Astra to finish off the exhaust. This one's finished. Fiesta MOT. And then happy days. It's absolutely freezing today. It was a lovely summer's day yesterday, to be quite honest. So yeah, I'm going to give this one a test drive. I don't know what I'm going to do with this thing. What is it even called? An Eco OBD. I'm not keen of them things. Like I've mentioned, it affects how the car runs. And when you run these things too lean, you cause problems. So like I've said, I'm going to get the tyre pressure. I'm going to do tyre pressures on this. Since there's a lot of oil around the engine, I'm going to check the oil. And that's just one to go out. The guy will be over the moon because he saved the money on the most expensive part. And like I mentioned, the correct way, before anybody says, is to change the rocker gasket. But they are a pain on these because the rocker gaskets on these have the PCV, the crankcase positive ventilation system built into it. And they're quite expensive. But they can cause all sorts of funny running as well. But I have done these in the past, and they're not just a 2-minute job to do. And the guy only wants a couple of months left out of this car and he's getting rid of it. So there we go. I'm doing the customer's request. Get it running for the cheapest price, which that is. So, how's everybody anyways? Everybody doing okay? Midweek Wednesday blues. To be honest, I've got a few jobs I want to do on my own car this afternoon, so I'm hoping, get all this out the way, and I'm going to shut them doors because the wind is howling into the garage and it is freezing. In fact, I'm down for a cup of coffee, which is my next step I'm going to do after this. So yeah, we'll keep this video short. Well, short, it's gone into 14 minutes. Sorry about that, but I wanted to show you a little bit of work in between doing the job, just as and when I can. When it's far too busy and there's people coming and going, I can't. I mean, in between this video where I've paused out, I've just been on, I should have just caught it in the video there, a Reynolds McGann changing a headlight bulb. Looked absolutely horrendous, but there was a hidden clip down the back of the headlight and the whole headlamp come out, so happy days on that. And I've had an Audi A3 in to change a rear wiper, and there's a few things coming in this afternoon for just mediocre little kind of checks and adjustments, which it's pointless holding the video out till later on for nothing. Might as well get it posted before dinner time. Happy days. So thank you all for watching. Please remember, with these videos, I've said I'll keep doing them as long as I keep getting the comments coming and hitting the like button. And please, if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe. I'm only going to keep up this if people appreciate what I'm doing. As you can imagine, every day I'm doing this. This is 15 minutes on the video, but in real time when I've had to stop, pause, set things up, show you what I'm doing, it takes a lot of time out my day, and I really only think there's any point in keep doing it if it's actually appreciated. If I'm doing it for no reason, then there's no point. So please, to help my channel, hit the like when you watch the video, leave a comment, hit the subscribe if you haven't already, and if you know anybody who might be interested in this, I'm sure all you guys watching this are watching this because you're interested in cars, naturally, otherwise you wouldn't watch it, or just general mechanical stuff what I'm doing. Please, if there's anybody that you know, please just leave my, send the link to my channel to any of your friends or family members who may be interested. If you use Facebook at all, you can go on and get the link of my channel and just share it on, if you're part of any groups. You know, I'm aware a lot of people on this watch me channel via groups they've seen us on, like the L200 group, the Peugeot group, the whatever, Land Rover group, all this. Just copy me link and just say, you know, that if anybody's interested in this thing, you might be interested in this guy's channel, share the link. I'll be much appreciated if you did that. So I'll catch you on tomorrow's vlog. I'm not sure what's in, but I'll actually, I think there's 2 jobs just being booked in. It's going to be really busy tomorrow, so I'll catch you on that video. Thank you for watching. Bye.